Yeah, we're back on the show with the Ghanaian government reopening its offer to exchange loans held by local bondholders for new securities as part of its efforts to enhance debt sustainability. The invitation is extended to holders of eligible bonds who did not participate in the previous swap, which was conducted last February, which resulted in some $7.7 billion local debt rebalancing. So far, we have an estimated 85% of bondholders now accepting the bond exchange, which allows Ghana's recent agreement to swap about $4 billion of domestic debt. Benjamin Boachie is the chief economist at Second Stacks, a tech company that is focused on solutions for intra-Africa capital and investments. And he joins me live now on the show. Hey, Benjamin, it's good evening. It's good to see you. Tuesday evening. Thank you. Let's get this on. Give me more details on the renewed bond offer. What does it mean for debt sustainability in Ghana?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I believe the current administrative reopening of the bond exchange program, I wouldn't overblow it. It's simply the government looking to be thorough. I think they've identified about $1 billion left on the table where you have folks who have domestic bonds but weren't able to tender them in the initial rounds of the domestic debt exchange program, and the government simply reopening the program to give them that option.
Interesting, but what does this bond mean for prospects, institutional investors, and the Ghana market? Who is really in this game? The first tranche was $7.7 billion. What's your outlook on this second phase, the 2.0?
Yeah, I think they'll be successful in terms of achieving their goal, which is simply to be more thorough than they previously have been. And whatever the case, even if they achieve a 50% outcome, they will still have managed to increase the amount of debt that they were able to restructure. So generally speaking, I think what's most important for other investors to look at is the fact that the government of Ghana is doing what it can. It's being thorough in its efforts to lower its debt burden into the future.
But do you see the Nana Akufo-Addo's government prioritizing payments on the new bonds or over payments on the eligible bonds? How do you think it will work out? How do you think the government will be able to work its way around this?
Well, I'm sure they would like to tell you that either set of bonds has a minimal, if not negligible, level of default risk. But obviously, given the program that they're going through currently, that's not the case. So I think the threat of prioritizing the newer bonds, which they also, with a carrot say, are going to be more liquid, is just their attempt to be thorough and effective in giving folks this opportunity and getting them to participate.
Do you think this will be a boost to the government's cash flow, which the government seriously need at this moment in Accra?
To be honest, my take on the short to medium term liquidity of the Ghanaian government is not extremely bright. They have to restructure their external debt, so they're shut out of the international capital markets, for at least the foreseeable future. And domestically, obviously, they've wrinkled quite a few feathers with the domestic debt exchange programs that we're discussing. So my take is that sources of capital from investors will be a strain, and you're seeing that in the most recent treasury yields that the government is dealing with. But with that said, the government's already structured a credit facility with the IMF that unlocks about $3 billion as long as they adhere to certain deal points, that protect the vulnerable and put capital towards, efficient use, including some other reforms. So in the medium term, the government will have the liquidity it needs to survive. But in terms of any capital beyond that, I think that's going to be quite expensive for them.
Benjamin Boachie, chief economist at Second Stacks from Ghana. Thank you so much. We lost your audio there momentarily on that conversation. Thank you so much. We appreciate that for shedding light on Ghana's bond exchange program 2.0. The first was $7.7 billion US. Now the government is of ramping up on the second. That's it. Yeah,